SpeakOut Pre-Intermediate Book, Unit 10.2 Vocabulary, Crime and Punishment. In this presentation, you'll have a quick tip about learning vocabulary. You'll learn crime and punishment vocabulary. You'll have a practice session, and you'll have references for your further study and practice. Learning vocabulary can be very difficult at times, but there are many ways to do it. You can group the words, for example, according to the stem of a word. The stem is a part of a word that is left after you take the ending off. For example, saves, saved, saving, and saver all come from the same stem, and when you try to learn them together, you can remember them easier. Or you can group the words according to the relations of the words. For example, when you try to learn family member vocabulary, because of the relations of the people around you, you can remember them better. And we will try to learn crime and punishment vocabulary in this means. Crime and Punishment is a great book which was written by Dostoevsky many years ago, and I am sure most of you have read it. Crime is an illegal act which was done by, most of the time, bad people. Crime. Punishment is the act of punishing that illegal act. Punishment. If there is a crime, there must be a person who is doing this illegal act, and we call the person who is committing a crime as criminal. In word groups, we will learn vocabulary related to crime, and we will learn the types of criminals and the actions that the criminals do and the punishment for certain crime. Let's focus on the actions of the criminals first. Think that you have a bike and you left it locked on the street and you leave. Then a person came near your bike, broke the lock, and took your bike without asking you and didn't return it back, didn't give it back to you. So this person steals your bike. Steal. If a person steals your bike, the person is a thief. And the act of stealing things is theft. During a theft, a thief not only steals, but also sometimes enters the houses or places without asking. They just, by using force, enter the house by breaking the windows or doors secretly, and they try to steal things inside. So they break in. They enter a house or a place without asking by using force. But thieves not only steal or break in, but sometimes use a gun to damage or injure a person. So they fire the gun, they shoot. During a theft, if a thief steals, breaks in, or shoots, there must be a punishment for that. And some criminals go to prison to spend some time there without going out. So they have a prison sentence. If the crime is not a major one, instead of going to prison, they can help the community, the people around them, by, for example, painting the walls or reading books to elderly or doing volunteer work in parks and gardens. And we call this alternative punishment as community service. So in our first group, we have the crime theft, and the person who is committing theft is a thief, and thieves generally steal, break in, or shoot, and the common punishment for that crime is prison sentence or community service. But there are many ways to steal money from people. Think that you are online shopping and you're using your credit card, and a person copies your credit card information and uses it to steal money from you. Or a person tells lies to you to get some money from you. We call these crime as fraud. Fraud. And the people committing fraud are also called as fraud. Fraud. So in our second group, we have the crime, deceiving people to get money, as fraud. And the person who's committing fraud is fraud. And they steal money from you by telling lies. Some crimes are not just about stealing, but about damaging the public places. For example, when people are writing something on the walls or drawing something on the benches on the streets, they commit writing graffiti. Writing graffiti. Or some people doesn't steal from you directly, but they steal from shops. They take small things from the shops and they leave without paying the money. So they commit the crime, which is shoplifting. Shoplifting. And the person who is shoplifting is a shoplifter. Shoplifter. Sometimes shoplifters do not do community service, but they take a ticket from the police officers. For example, when you're in the traffic and when you do not obey the rules, a police officer can come near you and give you a ticket with the amount of money you have to pay. The amount of money you have to pay because of a crime is fine. Fine. And in our third group, we have the crime types: writing graffiti, shoplifting, and the criminal who is shoplifter, and the punishment types for these crimes, let's say, community service and fine. But while you are learning crime vocabulary, there are not only criminals, but there are other people who are affected from the crime and the actions that they do. If there is a crime, there must be other people who are affected by the criminal, who are suffered or who are damaged, hurt by the crime. And we call these people as victim. Victim. Victims are not the only people who are affected by crime, but there are also people who are dealing with the crime. Police officers are dealing with crime all the time, and they try to solve the crime by investigating the clues. They try to find out the truth. Investigate. Investigate. When they find the criminal, they take the criminal to the police station by arresting them. Arrest. Arrest. Victims or police officers are not only the people who are dealing with a crime, but also there are other people who are deciding on the punishment. Judge. Judge. A judge decides on the punishment for a certain crime. So in our last word group, we have victims, police officers who are investigating the crime and arresting the criminals, and we have judges who decide on the punishment. Now please pause the video and fill in the blanks with the given words. When you've finished the activity, resume and check your answers. Here is the answer key for your first practice. For the second practice, you need to fill in the crossword puzzle. Please use the clues to answer the crossword puzzle. Please pause and then resume to check your answers. Here are the answers of the crossword puzzle. Please use your student book, your supplementary pack, and my English lab activities to practice the vocabulary. When you finish, you can either write or talk about the questions given here. When you finish writing or recording your voice, you can upload your recording or your writing on Edmodo and ask your teachers to give feedback. Thanks for watching.